Today, I'm going to be talking about uh, scarcity and value. Um, in normal standards of goods and services, uh, scarcity equals value. So, if there is not, is there enough? If there's not enough petrol or crude oil that is being pulled out of the ground and manufactured and distilled into diesel and gas and kerosene, then the value of said products will go up. This is just normal standard of business. It's been this way since the dawn of time. Um, this is a concept that has been adopted um, very cleverly by the luxury industry. Um, there is a man called Thorstein Veblen. He's an American economist from a very, very long time ago. Um, he came up with this concept, or rather, he coined this concept of conspicuous consumption. Now, the idea of conspicuous consumption is it is intentional purchase of goods and services, uh, displaying them in order to achieve social status, economic power, to show wealth. But the part of this concept that I don't want to say liked, but that made the most sense to me was how conspicuous consumption is often exceeding any practical need. And that's where they get you. That's exactly where they get you. Um, Patek Philippe, the watch brand, their slogan, which is incredible by the way, is you don't own a Patek, you merely hold on to it for the next generation. That's a company that understood this from the jump, that people will resonate a lot more with the idea of status being attached to a product. So you think about it, you walk into a Patek Philippe shop and you buy this watch, and for them, they're telling you this watch that you've just bought, we've actually let you do this because we believe that after you own this watch for a number of years, you're going to pass it on to someone else, and that person will pass it on to someone else, and so on and so forth. So it embedded in the product is the value, and the scarcity is therefore implied because it's like, wait, you don't buy one and buy one for your son, and then your son's son buys one, and then your nephew and your niece and your wife and your husband, which in reality people obviously do. But the point is, this is their idea behind the brand. um I'm talking about this today because there are a lot of companies, mostly in the fashion industry, that use this tool almost with no remorse and in such a violent way, you know? And human nature, or human beings as an overall rule, are very gullible. um, and it's easy to make them believe whatever you want them to believe. If it's packaged in heritage and history and storytelling, then it's easy to make someone believe it. Um, Someone that does this very well uh, is Hermes. You will walk into an Hermes store and you'll ask for a bag, and they'll tell you, "Good luck with that. You're gonna wait for 2 years, or you're gonna wait for 3 years before you even smell the cardboard of the box that the bag is put in." And the funniest thing about all this is the people genuinely believe that there are no bags. The reality is very far from that, because you have to think about it like this. If they genuinely made so little of them, how have they amassed such size and wealth and how did they get that market cap of hundreds of billions of euros if you're not making that many bags? So where is the money coming from? Each bag isn't $40,000. It's maybe 10 or 11. And you don't have a store on every corner of every high street in every city in the world. They're in very strategic locations. So you have to ask yourself, how are you making it? Well, the answer, ladies and gentlemen, is they are making a lot of bags. There is no scarcity, but it is implied. If you go into the back of the stockroom and you see how many bags are actually there, um, it will shock you. But this is a tool that they use, and you can't hate the play. Just this is just the game. You know what I mean? This is just the way the cookie crumbles. And I find it very interesting how so many brands have managed to use this concept to cajole and to coerce and to convince people of their implied value. Um, when starting a business, uh, if the product, if the item you want to bring into the market is a product or it's a service, I think having an understanding of the relationship between scarcity and value can really help you, because you can learn or you can understand the varying degrees to which you can turn up one and turn down the other, or turn up the other and turn down one rather, um, and that will help you with your product. Um, for example, people who do limited drops, you can make a T-shirt in the quantity of 100, and you label them 1 to 100, and it's not because it is you only made 100 and there's only 100 people you want to buy, but maybe that might be how many that you can afford to make in that batch without overextending your finances and putting too much capital into production, and then having to store all these t-shirts and inventory that doesn't get sold. So you can use that to your advantage, and therefore having only 100 of them, to the consumer who is none the wiser as to why you've done this, he sees that as value. Oh my god, I need one of those t-shirts, there's only 100 of them. In the reality is there's only 100 of them because that's all I could afford to produce. So I think this is something that people can use to their advantage. Maybe having a Pilates class. I thought about Pilates because I saw it on my way in this morning on a run. Um, you have a Pilates class, and the rule is you can only accept uh, 10 people every month, and that's it. And at the beginning, people are going to be like, wait, what? But it takes time because, again, like I said at the beginning, human beings are, for the most part, very predictable. And if people keep hearing, oh, sorry, I can't take you on, my quota is full for the month. What do you mean full? No other Pilates class does this. Yeah, but we want to offer each attendee or each client a very personalized experience, because of all the years of teaching and learning we've absorbed. We want to offer a very personalized experience. We don't want it to just be a mass market thing. People are like, okay. And then when the 10 people come, they get a tote bag, they get outfit, they get little water bottle, all of these things, it's all the storytelling, it's the packaging, it's the way you present yourself. But again, the reality is you have two instructors. You can't afford to get four of them and therefore have more classes. So you use that internal business scarcity to make a real world scarcity that then gives value. Ladies and gentlemen, scarcity equals value. Um, I think it's something that people should think about a lot, especially if you want to start a business and you have a goods or service that you want to give to society or you produce. I think it could help you. That's not to say that the mass market way doesn't work. It absolutely does. There are many examples of this where it's worked to a T. Um, there are more Toyotas on the street than maybe even human beings in the world, you know. Uh, and there is nothing wrong with that. People still keep going to buy Toyotas, but at the same time, you have Ferraris, you have Lamborghinis, and like my good homie Thorsten Veblen said, um, this works. Conspicuous consumption. It works. You know, people want to have things that makes them seem like they're breathing a rarefied air. They want to seem like they're floating on the clouds above the rest of this mortal world, and so they will pay exorbitant prices for things just to show other people that look, you and I, we're not the same, and you can use that to your advantage. Anyways, thank you so much for listening in, and don't forget, I don't make the rules, I only enforce them. Peace.